Hi, it's George Dunn here, Chief Executive from the Tenant Farmers Association, and I find myself today outside the Royal Courts of Justice, which are just across the road, and I thought it would be a good opportunity just to remind members and others that we do have a really special webinar coming on Wednesday, the 26th of February, with eminent agricultural barrister Catherine Taskis KC, who will be taking us through some of the pitfalls and issues around subletting on agricultural tenancies, and for those who are on 1986 Act tenancies, the Agricultural Holdings Act 1986, the possibility of a dreaded Case E notice to quit, which is served if the landlord believes that the tenant is in breach of their tenancy agreement and having breached it in a way which can't be remedied, and there is a school of thought that once you've sublet, then you have breached your agreement irrevocably. So Catherine's going to be talking us through some of the issues there, and I will recount a situation we had with one of our members who very sadly was lulled into a false sense of security with a landlord who allowed them to do all sorts of subletting and diversifications just with a nod and a wink without anything in writing. Then the farm changed hands into the hands of a different landlord. That landlord seemed to take a similar approach initially, but then came really hard against the tenant for subletting and for doing things which were beyond the agreement, and took a very aggressive approach and employed expensive lawyers to bring that tenant into a really difficult spot. And even though that tenant has managed to get through that situation, it has been incredibly costly in many respects for that tenant. And the one thing that the tenant said to me was, please don't let this happen to another tenant farmer. So in keeping my promise to that member, we're holding this webinar as part of that situation to make sure that members and other tenant farmers are very aware of the situations that they might face and what they need to do to protect themselves when they want to look at subletting or diversification on their holdings. So join us for the webinar Wednesday, 26th of February at 7 p.m.